control among poor people, also those with mental and physical handicaps and other struggles in society. Quote, we do not want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the bleak African American population. Sanger once took her message of population control and presented it, guess where? At a Ku Klux Klan rally. Joe Biden, where do you stand on Planned Parenthood and its founder, Margaret Sanger? Where do you stand on the American taxpayer funding such an organization? And by the way, buildings named after her, we want to go there too. Where does Joe stand there? American taxpayers gave around $600 million you give annually to Planned Parenthood. Why would you dying to any such organization? What about the Russell Senate building named after a prominent Democrat, also a known segregationist? In their decades in the Capitol, why haven't Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer, 125 years, why haven't they done any of these things? And by the way, then there's the former Klansman that was the head of the Democratic Party for the United States Senate for all those years, Robert KKK Byrd. Biden praised and eulogized his former colleague. Biden said that he held him in incredible esteem. Pelosi called Byrd, quote, a great American patriot. Schumer, he also praised on Senator Byrd. Without a doubt, this represents the complicated, seedy, hypocritical history of what is the Democratic Party they would like America to forget. For example, Biden once worked side by side with segregationists, including the former Klansman. During a speech in 1973, Joe Biden praised Southern Democrats, said that the two-party system in the South was good for speed. And around the same time, Biden was actively working with these segregationists to slow integration by opposing school busing. According to NBC News, quote, we led the charge on an issue that kept black students away from Great Plains are nothing but straight, endless roads.
This is a pretty incredible experience.
Wow.
There's always more to see.
No other land is more primal, more astonishing in its rainbow of life, more compelling with its seductive stories of history, myth, and human drama. Hawaii, an emerald string of 8 major islands near the equator in the vast Pacific Ocean. To see it by air is a stunning journey. We'll travel across the main Hawaiian Islands. From Kilauea, a smoldering giant of a volcano, the most active on the planet, out past the shores of one of the most notorious leper colonies, where a brave priest waged a solitary war against the plague of death. On to Pearl Harbor, where waves of Japanese bombers turned a peaceful morning sky into an inferno that changed the world. And to Waikiki and beyond, where a legendary Olympic athlete introduced the world to the sport of surfing. Aerial Hawaii is a journey unlike any other on the face of the earth.
journey of the Hawaiian Islands starts on the big island of Hawaii. So big, it's more than double the size of all the other Hawaiian islands combined. It's believed that the first humans may have set foot here around 500 AD. They likely were from the Marquesas Islands, 2,500 miles to the south. Why these Polynesian sailors set out for the unknown is a mystery. They sailed the open sea until finally the horizon yielded a glorious gift. The warm, welcoming sand of Hawaii. On the western shore of the island, the remains of a great stone wall stand as a monument to Hawaii's ancient culture. This is Pohuniwa Ahonanau, a sacred place that ancient Hawaiians believed held special powers. Built in the 1500s, its wall stands 1,000 feet long, 10 feet high, 17 feet thick. Not to repel enemies, but to provide sanctuary. If a law was broken, the penalty was often death. For severe crimes, the entire family of the accused was executed. Lawbreakers were given one shot at a reprieve. If they could escape and reach Pohuniwa before being captured, they were safe. Here, priests offered refuge and forgiveness. Whatever the crime, the fugitive was then allowed to return home without fear of retribution. For centuries, Hawaiians were unknown to the rest of the world. But in 1778, Captain James Cook, on expedition with 2 ships of the British Admiralty, became the first European to set foot here. The islanders received Cook and his men warmly. The consequences were fatal. Within 100 years of Cook's arrival, an estimated 90% of the indigenous population was wiped out, dead from measles and other European diseases. But for Cook, death came much more swiftly. A year after his arrival, he anchored here. Some natives stole one of Cook's boats. The captain and a small landing party came ashore to retrieve it. More than 200 warriors attacked. Cook was struck in the head and killed. A white obelisk marks the spot where he fell. According to crew members, some friendly Hawaiians later returned Cook's body, or what remained of it: hands, scalp, a few bones, and the skull without its lower jaw. All of it burned. Traveling north along the coast, modern Hawaii beckons. At first glance, the Big Island appears to turn a cold shoulder to beach lovers. Hawaii has fewer sand beaches per mile than other islands in the chain. But the beaches it does have are among the best in the entire state. Some of the island's most opulent resorts hug its western shoreline, like this one, the Mauna Kea Hotel. Built in 1965, situated between 2 ancient lava flows, Mauna Kea was the first resort here. The owner was Lawrence Rockefeller of the Rockefeller dynasty. As a venture capitalist, he was famous for providing early startup capital to two little companies named Intel and Apple. But he was also a pioneering conservationist, committed to building eco-friendly hotels that gave people a respectful access to nature. In Hawaii, the Mauna Kea Hotel is his legacy. Some rooms and suites here cost $1,000 a night. At the north end of the island, beauty gives way to mystery. What appears as little more than a rough pile of stones is actually what remains of the ancient temple of Mahukini Heiau. It's believed the site was used for human sacrifice to the Hawaiian war god, Ku. Tens of thousands were sacrificed here, though little blood was actually spilled. Because a bloodied corpse did not look good on the stone altar, most victims were either drowned, strangled, or poisoned. Visitors to the site often claim that there is an eerie quiet, a strange chill in the air, as if the countless dead still linger. But the most tangible trace of what happened here are the stones of the temple itself. According to legend, the stones were moved to this site from a valley some...
Every day was like group shot or selfie, all out or low key, hair down or up.
from 14 miles away. From hand to hand, the rocks were passed along a chain of 18,000 people and stacked at the temple, all in just one night. An epic feat, considering that the stone walls were nearly 30 feet thick. Heading south along Hawaii's east coast, a lush wonderland awaits. The Waipio Valley. Once thousands of people lived here, cultivating bananas, coconuts, and a spinach tasting plant called taro. But in 1946, a tsunami devastated the valley. Most of the survivors left, and the wild took over. Then, in 1961, President John F. Kennedy started the Peace Corps, and the Waipio Valley was chosen as the site of one of its first training camps. A living classroom where volunteers prepared for the rigors of life in underdeveloped countries. Today, the camp is long gone. Only about 50 people live in the entire valley. Farmers mostly. This part of Hawaii has slipped back in time, becoming nearly as remote and untamed as when it was first carved in the earth. Its sand beach is black from where ancient volcanic lava flowed to the ocean and was crushed by the surf. And deep inside the valley, its cliffs tower some 2,000 feet high. One of the highest free-falling waterfalls in the world is here, a spectacular 1,300-foot drop. Inland from the valley is the sprawling Parker Ranch, the site of a remarkable American success story. The rag rags to riches tale of a vagabond sailor who turned his skill with a gun into a dynasty. At the turn of the 19th century, herds of long-horned cattle roamed this part of the island. They were wild, dangerous, far from the domesticated breed of today. Within a decade, there were so many that locals felt threatened. To control the population, a local chief hired a man named John Parker to hunt some of the cattle. Parker was a New England sailor who had jumped ship on the island and was known as a good shot with a musket. Because the cattle lived in canyons, the best way to hunt them was on horseback. Parker favored horses with a keen sense of smell. The sooner a horse could perk its ears and alert him that his prey was nearby, the sooner he could get off a good shot. Before long, Parker was salting the beef from his kills and selling it to the whaling vessels that came to port. In no time, salt beef was a bestseller, becoming the island's chief export. When Parker...
The way doctors look for prostate cancer is changing. Some prostate cancers can be deadly, while others may grow so slowly that finding them and treating them may cause more harm than good. They can